Hey guys, this is Italo here. Thanks for watching this video. And so here we'll see how we can make some operations in Illustrator. In Illustrator, we can, once we have our shapes here and we want to make, let's say I have 3 circles here, and let's say I want to make this into the character we all know, the famous mouse. So if I want to merge them, unite them to create a single shape, I could do that using the Pathfinder. So I can select all the circles, all the shapes, and if I go here under the properties panel, I'll find some options here, and this is how I can unite them, do minus front, intersect for the intersection, and exclude. So each one of them operates in a different way. It's pretty straightforward, as we see the short description here. It already says. So if I want to create a single object here, one way to do that would be with the unite option here in the Pathfinder. So when I click it, you can see that it's no longer 3 shapes, it's a single path. So this is one way. I will do Command Z or Control Z to undo that. Remember that we also have a panel specifically for the Pathfinder options. So if you click this button, if you can't see it, remember that you can go under Window and Pathfinders here as well. You can select, check it off to be able to see to get the panel. I'll do just another one. We can do minus front as well. So let's see here. These 2 circles are in front of this one, so they are on top of the big circle, and we have some intersections here. So if I select all of them and do minus front, it will delete these circles that are in front and leave just the one that is behind minus these areas here. So let's see that in action. So I clicked the minus front, and like I said, all I have left is the big circle, but minus these areas here, the intersections. I did Command Z again to undo that. So you can try the other options out. They are, like I said, they are pretty straightforward. We have a few more options here to trim, divide, merge, and each one of them behaves in a different way. So that's one way to make some interactions between objects in Illustrator. The other one that I wanted to show you guys in this video is the Pathfinder tool, which I find a very cool interactive way to do that. So I will select the shape builder. However, an important thing to say first, if you don't have anything selected, notice that if I select the shape builder tool and I try to click something, even the pointer is telling me no operation can be done because I have no selection. So I need to select the objects that are involved, that I'll be working with to do that operation. Okay, so first thing is to select the objects. You can do a marquee selection, or you can select them by holding Shift. So to select all of them. So I have all the 3 circles selected here. I will bring the shape builder tool again. So notice that when the pointer is over specific areas, I can already see it being highlighted. So the area I am hovering over is highlighted. So if I want to merge all of them, I can click. I could start here or here, doesn't matter, or I can start anywhere basically. So, but if I click and I drag, you see as I drag the mouse, as I move the mouse, the shapes are being added. and then when I release it, then it makes the operation for me, and boom, it's united. Okay, so this is one way. So if you want to unite them, that's what you can do. How you can do this. If you want to delete parts of the shapes, if you can hold Option or Alt in Windows, and as you can see, the plus sign here on my cursor is no longer a plus, it's a minus, and I'm holding Option. So if I click, simple click, the shapes, the areas here, this is how I can quickly delete them. Okay, so this is kind of what the minus front, minus back tools do, but with the shape builder tool. Okay, I will undo all that again to show you guys one last thing that we can do with the shape builder. So if I do a simple click in the areas highlighted here, okay, I clicked each one of the areas here, and I'll go back to my move tool, my selection tool, and let's select them now to see that they are separated. Okay, so this is, like I said, this is pretty cool. This is pretty interactive and easy to use. So this way I can detach the parts and make them into separate objects. Cool, hey? So I will delete this now because I want to do something a little bit more practical here with this tool. So I have one pie chart here in my computer. I'll bring it over, and here's my chart. Excuse me. So here I have I'll bring the layers panel just to show you something that you can do when you're tracing an object. And that's what I'm gonna do now. I will trace out this pie chart using shapes and the pen tool, and also the shape builder tool that we have just learned to recreate this pie chart. So the first thing I did was to place the object here, my PNG file. It's in my layer 1. I will lock it because I don't want to move it accidentally while I do my tracing. I could rename it pie chart. I can rename my layer, and I will create a new layer here, and I can call it traced chart. And in this layer, I will recreate, I'll trace my pie chart. All right, so first I will create the circle. I can start by selecting the ellipse tool. One cool way, one thing to do is to go here right on the center. And if you start drawing the circle, that will be the corner. However, if you hold Option or Alt in Windows, you see that it's my origin is no longer my left, my corner, the corner of the circle. It's the center now. So this is an interesting thing to notice. And if I hold Shift, it will lock the ratio, and it will be a 1-by-1 circle instead of an oval. So this is one way for you to do to draw a circle. Like in this case, I think it helps. So I could just quickly, well, I think it works. I'll move it down just a little bit. Okay, I can see my object now, my pie chart. So I'll go here to properties, and I will bring opacity down to whatever, 30, 40 works. Just so I can see the graph behind it. And then I can bring the pen tool, and I can start tracing it because now I need to trace the slices. I could start here from the center for the first slice, and I can try to follow the path. Notice that I'm not being too, I don't need to be precise here. So I'm going beyond the circle, because what I'm gonna do later with the shape builder tool is to delete this extra space, this extra part of the shape that I'm creating now. So I don't need to be precise. I can draw the next slices. So I will make sure this anchor point is on the path. Like in this case here, you probably want to, and I should have showed this first, but you probably want to have your smart guides on. So make sure you have this selected here. So view, smart guides, because when I'm drawing the shapes, I will create this first anchor point anywhere here. But when I get close to an anchor point, because I have the smart guides turned on, I can click exactly on the anchor points to make sure, to be precise and make sure one anchor point is exactly over the other one that I have created before. All right, so you can start somewhere, anchor point, path. Quick thing, why do I not start it here over this anchor point that I have created before? Because I am using the pen tool, and you can see if I am somewhere on my canvas, you can see the pointer here that is the pen tool with an asterisk. However, if I go over the anchor point that I have created before, there is a minus sign there, and that means that if I click it, instead of creating a new object, I am deleting this object, this anchor point, sorry, that I have on the object that I have created before, and that's not what I want to do. So that's why I'm starting out here, and then because I already started creating this object, then I'm editing this particular new shape here, so that now I can click the anchor points that I have created before. Okay, and there we go. I have the shapes for my slices now. All right. Okay, so as we saw before, next step is to select. I brought the selection tool here. I am selecting all the objects. I can see the circle because it's behind the other shapes that I have just created. However, it's still there. And if I do a marquee selection, I can select all the objects involved in the operation. And now I bring back the shape builder tool to delete the parts that I don't want. Okay, so I can hold Option or Alt and Option click these shapes to delete them. All right. Okay, so next thing I need to do, I need to make these slices into individual shapes. So I can click them. And when I get my selection tool, there we go. If I move them, I can see, I probably wasn't too precise on this one. I can just delete these paths. Let me do it differently. I'll select these, deselect these two, and delete the other ones. Okay, so now I have all the slices. The circle is gone. I don't have the circle anymore. As you can see, when I move the slices, I don't have the circle anymore because I did my operation. So here it is. Here's my my pie chart. If I want to, I could, if I wanted to, I could bring down opacity again for them, for the objects, to see which color is each. And one cool thing that I could do here is to use the eyedropper to bring to select the colors here on the legend. Okay, so I can do this. I can bring opacity down again. And apparently this should be yellow. I could also deselect to pick the eyedropper, and I can select the color first, and if I hold Option, I can apply that color to the other object. All right, so there it is. Here's my graph traced, and now I can make it my own and make some changes if I want. If I want to space them out a little bit, I could do that to highlight one specific fact. Then I have freedom because these are all objects now. All right, so this is one way. I'll leave this here for now. Another way that we could make this trace this pie chart here would be by creating some lines to make the division. So this is kind of the hard way to do that, but we can do it in a little bit more simple way. So again, I will draw my circle here, and this time, instead of creating the shapes as I did before for each slice, I will draw lines. All right, so I will select the line tool, and then I will go here to the center of the circle, and I will draw a line here. It's a good idea to go beyond the circle just to make sure the operation will work well. Okay, so I will create the lines for these divisions here. Okay. All right, so same thing as I did before. I can now select all the objects, the circle and the lines, and again I can bring the shape builder tool, and as you can see, I can have my slices. So if I click them, I'm clicking each one of them. So by doing that, I have the separate slices, and I can also use the shape builder tool to delete these extra segments that are left here. So if I hold Option and click, I can delete the extra lines, and there we go. So the same way I did before, it's done. So now I can use again the eyedropper, select the color, Option, and click the new shapes that I have created to assign the colors, assign each color to each slice. All right, so as you can see, this way was a little bit more simple than this one, but I wanted to show you both ways so you can see that you have some options. And Illustrator, working with Illustrator and as well as Photoshop and other Adobe programs, it's a lot about learning the tools, learning how they work, and see how you can use them. So you apply that to your workflow and use whatever you need to accomplish the things that you want to do. All right, I hope you like this, and I hope this was helpful. And thanks for watching. See you next time.